Tomorrow, AMC is expected to release the earnings for 2020 and for the last quarter of 2020. So in this video, I want to cover exactly what we can expect to see from the earnings and how it can potentially push the price of AMC in one direction or the other. Because yeah, earnings does not always transpire or translate into the price going up or going down. So what's actually happened, what's actually the market is waiting on AMC. So if you look first of all here on the 5-day chart, AMC it's on uptrend, guys. Like it's going back to maybe not the moon yet, maybe Mars first. All right, so we were down like around $6 at a point here. Let me look up on the one. Yeah, we were down $6, no, 5.50, and people will say, oh, it's finished, MC is dead, sell this stuff. And then people hold, I held, people continue to hold. And we're back 9, and then we consolidated here, and now we are trending towards the upper 10, maybe 11, considering after hours here where we are up 5%. So what's actually up with the earnings? This is an article for NASDAQ, and if you pull down to AMC, they are supposed to release earnings tomorrow after the close, Wednesday, March 10. So Wall Street is expecting a loss, of course, because all the way through all the way through 2020, theaters were closed. So there were no people buying tickets, meaning the revenue of AMC went all the way down, at least, to 82% down, so they were making $5.5 billion in 2019, and in 2020 they're expected to make a loss of $1.45 billion. This is huge. Now, what will be interesting to see here is actually what we call the what to watch. So there's been a ton of drama around AMC with the meme stock and the short squeezing and the Reddit and Robinhood and everything, but now we want to consider what actually AMC, given the fact that everyone is expecting AMC to release bad news in terms of the loss in the revenue on the quarter and the whole year. So it'll be interesting to see how AMC will focus and give proof to the market, investors that, hey, this is actually the actions we are taking or we took in order to see revenues coming back as soon as the next quarter or as soon as mid of this year and the entire, what we call the guidance, meaning people or investors or in the market, they are anticipating what will happen in the future. So if AMC comes up, and during the earnings call, as we heard great confidence outlook from the CEO on an interview last Friday, if the earnings are also as confident into the future of the stock, it will give, confidence into investors, in the market that, hey, they are working hard to keep the company afloat. But not only that, they are also making sure that the company can still, be profitable so that everyone holding the shares, the investors, will be happy and make a lot of money. So that will be what to look into the guidance and the earnings call for tomorrow on AMC part. Now, depending on what we are seeing right now with the price of AMC, sometimes when people are too much excited and hyped about earnings call, usually they're expecting earnings to be good. And I think the market here expecting AMC earnings to be good in terms of the guidance, because a lot of theaters are now set to reopen as more and more cities across the US and states, can't pronounce today, are reopening the economies. Theaters of AMC cinema will also reopen. And the fact that we have stimulus checks coming, people are sitting on, savings and itching to go out, so we can expect a huge flooding of people and customers into theaters, especially where we don't have the 25% capacity restrictions. So it might be a good news for AMC, but given that, I don't consider this stock to be so much hyped into earnings. There has been a new rule that I mentioned from the DTCC part that maybe allowed, the fake shares created by short attack to push the price higher, because they will be obliged to pay what they owe when they short at the end of each day. I mentioned that in my previous video. If you haven't watched that, guys, please go ahead and watch it. So this might also be one of the reasons why the price of AMC is still going up. Same thing with GameStop and all the meme stocks. Now, if the earnings are not as giving confidence, and the outlook of the company, and investors are like, you know what, I'm not that sure, I want to keep holding, we can see a pullback, that much of a pullback. I don't expect it, but everything seems to be bullish. The short interest keep being high, the short borrowing fee rates keep going up, so these are catalysts that to me doesn't indicate that AMC's share price will go down after the earnings, but the contrary. There've been people doubling the price target of AMC. So definitely everything is kind of bullish for AMC now. So the earnings here, if it's good, will be just a cherry on the cake. And based on this, we can potentially see the share price of AMC potentially around $12, by the end of the week, closing this week. But it may also be higher than that. You never know. This is pre-timing, a tool that I use sometimes, and I use this on some of my videos on my channel, just to give us an indication of the trend, not really focusing on the price, but the trend on which a stock can be for the next 10 days. And right here for AMC, it's pretty, we're looking at $15 a share, so which is not good. So we can potentially be higher than this or even lower than this, but I mean, you never know. You can just predict the future. So this doesn't work. It's not accurate 100% of the time, but again, the trend is there. So I will consider these earnings to be also a good catalyst that will push the price of AMC maybe around that 12.15 by the end of this week. All right, guys, that's everything I had for you. Let me know what you guys are still doing with AMC. If you're still holding or consider to buy more, as we can potentially see a price higher by the end of this week. So take care, guys. I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.